Hey guys, welcome back for a second week of Newsies. Again, you're not going to find this in the papes, so you better keep a tight eye on us.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Broadway Breakdown.
Now it's time to seize the day.
Now it's the time to change the lyrics.
Answer the call and don't delay.
Let's try and make this more marketable. This is like, Hollywood does this all the time. This is like an insider tidbit from Hollywood. If you have something like Newsies that the movie didn't do too well, you always try and look at what you have as far as like TV, film, whatever. You say, okay, what do I have here that didn't make money, and how can I make it like sell money in another way, because it's cheaper that way. You already have songs.
I was gonna be mean and rebuttal it with like, let's hire people that can sing. But I guess I just did become mean.
I'm not a singer, so I don't really notice when they can't sing.
Oh,
it doesn't really bother me.
I judge even though I can't either. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Broadway Breakdown. I'm your host, Briana Phipps, Phipps14 on Twitter, Instagram, Phipps1214 on Snapchat, and of course, my lovely, lovely co-host here,
123 Jackie B on all platforms.
Tiona sadly had to cancel on us today.
I know.
But she had a good reason, and she will be back to join us for other shows later. And of course, we have our lovely, lovely engineer, Alexis, in the booth.
Everybody. Sorry.
Oh, there was a cute little noise. It was like, meh.
That's me.
Where can I find you, Alexis?
You can find me all over social media as atorres890. That's ATORRES 890. I'm ready to seize the day.
All right, that was our musical goddess in the booth. Right,
news.
We're going to start off as we always do with the news from BroadwayWorld.com and Robert Diamond. This week, Rachel Ann Go and Devin. Is it Law? Is that how you say it? It's like two L's.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Law.
Law.
Honest.
If I'm wrong, let me know, guys, in the chat roll. Join Miss Saigon on Broadway.
I'm so excited for this because they say that there's going to be a tour afterwards, which I'm like, I know you have to come to Los Angeles, which means that I don't have to travel anywhere to find this.
That's one of the greatest parts about, like, for me, I've always lived in a big city. Like, I come from San Francisco. I live in Los Angeles. There was never a time where a show wasn't going to tour through one of the cities I lived in.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate in my life that I've gotten to see some really great productions. And encourage other people. I'm sorry that if you live in a very small town very far away from a big city, but travel and come to a big city, watch the shows. They're fun. And it's not the same as if you watch it as someone taping it on YouTube. It's not the same.
No experience is ever the same as being in the theater live.
And shout out to we have I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong.
Gigi on Broadway.
Gigi on Broadway. She said Newsies. He or she says Newsies is her favorite musical.
Heck yeah.
One of Jackie's favorite too.
Movie version is my favorite.
It's not a musical. It's just a movie version musical.
Yeah, it's the movie version musical. I'll let you know why I have problems with the play, which tons of people love the play, and power to them. Like Disney property, that was the word I was looking for. When you have different properties, like they call like TV shows or books or whatever, it's a property. And so if it didn't make money in one way, you try and make it money in another way, because that way you don't have to spend money making something new. Yeah. You can just add on.
The second piece of news we have is In the Heights adaptation is set to get underway this spring with Lin-Manuel Miranda to appear, ?
Yay.
Yeah, that was weird to me, because as much as I'm not a fan of his singing, that really is like, that's his musical baby, as like it's semi-autobiographical. So I didn't really understand where I was like, how are you making this movie but you're not really having him in the lead role? ?
I mean, it may be a choice that he's just so busy that he's choosing to step out, and maybe he wants just to have more control and he'd rather be behind the scenes. I don't know. It's like, I'm not in the room.
Or it's a Hollywood thing where they're going to cast someone who's 12 because they keep casting people younger and younger and younger. And that's another thing that bothers me with some movie musicals, where you had the musical and then you want the cast isn't that much older, but then Hollywood is like, oh no, you've become 3 years older, or how, I know this isn't 3 years ago, but it's still, it's like, they're like, okay, well now we have to cast a 16-year-old in your role. And I'm like, really?
But like going off of that, like also when you do have people from the original cast that are older and then you redo it, Hairspray Live. Sorry, and it's not like I have no idea like how this is gonna go with the Hairspray Live. I actually like a lot of the people in it, and they have done a really great job. That's not me shitting on them, but I was when they announced Derek Huff, in my head I was like, why didn't they have Matthew Morrison play that part?
He's not that old, people. Like, no, seriously.
But he could like he's in his like mid-30s
right
now, and so he's old enough, and he could play Corny Collins now, and it'd be a great like way to like be like, I know that they have Harvey Firestein from the original, but it's like a great way to be like, look at this person from the original, we're giving them a new part because now they're too old to play Link.
They did that with Les Mis, guys. They did it with Les Mis, just saying.
But yeah, so like I understand you're saying of that, but like, it's interesting. We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because the musical is so like city based, like it's such that culture feel, to see how they bring it into the screen.
Yeah. Also, it'll be interesting because I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like mwah on Derek Huff's singing abilities, but.
Oh, I was going back to In the Heights.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about the city of Baltimore.
That. Well, I guess, yeah, they're both really city oriented. I've never heard Derek Huff sing. Does he have any videos up that you can watch him sing, or is this up in the air until?
No, this is me not knowing what he sounds like singing. So that's why I feel like, I don't know.
I am very, very excited, though, for Martin Short.
Yes. Oh, my
very
gosh.
Excited.
Canadian power.
And our last bit of news is Imelda Staunton is to star in the West End revival of Follies, who I love this actress.
She's Dolores Umbridge, for those of you who don't know.
Yes. She did a great job of making us hate her.
Yes. You always know you're a good actor, though, like if you get some sort of visceral reaction from people, and she did.
Yeah. Like
in that role.
She embodied what Dolores Umbridge was. Like, she wasn't as ugly as she was in the little drawing in the book where she looked like a frog, but
I also think as with most British actors, a lot of them did a lot of schooling. She went to RADA, so she has an extensive theater background, so it's, I
mean, my mom always told me that in England and stuff, like, they kind of learn acting, in her opinion, like the right way, which is you learn Shakespeare and then theater and then film.
Yeah, there's a lot of studying going on where it's not just like your face looks like this, let me put you on a cereal box. It's like you have to work for it.
It's an actual profession, and it's not viewed as like, it's kind of, I think, given a little bit more respect over there than it is here. Maybe
it's given more respect as a craft, but people in England, as when I studied in Stratford, and mind you, this is like over 10 years ago, people were not like, when we're in theaters and we wait outside of like the doors to get people's like autographs and whatnot, they just, when I was there, they just didn't, it wasn't something that was done. Like, literally the Americans, which were like the students there, were the only people that were like, it's Dame Judi Dench, oh my God, I gotta follow her and get her autograph. We were literally the only people doing that. So it was just fascinating to me, like the level of like caring about celebrity. Now, maybe if it was like, you know, Prince William, it would have been something different.
Their celebrity is different.
Yeah.
Actor, prince, royalty. And yeah, so that's our news for today, guys. And thank you always to Robert Diamond and BroadwayWorld.com for giving us that. Yeah. All right, on to Newsies, the musical.
The musical.
The Broadway musical.
Yes.
So we have some added storylines that they brought into this.
So
we have Catherine Plummer. But the Catherine Plummer storyline, I thought, actually made the musical make more sense.
The Catherine Plummer storyline, I feel like I should like it because I'm a feminist. It changes like the female ingenue role to be something active, where she has an actual job, where she's an actual well-rounded character. The problem I had, though, is, like, in order to get her character, they had to subtract Denton, and I had such a crush on Bill Pullman when I was a kid that I was like, you got rid of Denton!
I know, Mark, one of our engineers, he said he was really upset by it because he's like, they took away the one role I could play.
Oh, disgraceful.
He's like,
Denty.
until I get older and can play Pulitzer. But even Pulitzer, like, yeah. I mean, unless you can't
I
sing.
also like think it's, you know, I would have liked it if she was just some sort of rogue journalist, but in the typical, like, this, like, Hollywood, big Broadway kind of fashion, they feel like they have to tie these characters all in together, and they made her the daughter of Pulitzer, and I'm like, oh, come on, now this is a Romeo and Juliet story.
But I'm going to argue it for one reason alone. It made a lot more sense how they could get back down into that room and use his press.
Well, in the movie,
Because,
the reason they could get in was because he was literally sleeping there.
Yeah, but he'd already beaten up the two thugs in the movie who I would assume had already reported back, so everyone already knew he had now turned and been flipped sides again and would not let him into that building anymore. That's
no,
my
he was
thought.
still sleeping. He was still sleeping in the basement. That's how he was, or maybe he made a
No, I know,
key.
but I'm saying
don't
like
know.
that was part of their deal.
Right.
So it made no sense to
know.
me that because that's why they were being so quiet. Like, I don't know. That's my take on it. I'm gonna agree with Samantha. I like Catherine and her storyline in this musical. I thought it was needed because the Bill Pullman one, it gave it more like of a reason for why they were doing it rather than just like, oh, I need to help these boys. Like, she had a vendetta against her father. We also have Jacque being an artist.
I can't.
This one made less sense.
This one makes no sense.
I feel like they used this one just because of the cool projection thing of when he draws her.
I think that's exactly why they do it. They were like, hey, we have this projection screen. We should use it for other things besides posting, like, scenery of New York in newspapers.
Because if they were going to make him an artist and, like, be good at that, then
It
it makes
really
more sense for
reminded
him
me
to
of
stay in New York and
Xanadu,
want
you
to
know, where
leave for
he's
Santa
like,
Fe.
it reminded me of Xanadu, where he's like drawing on the, you know, drawing the muses in the beginning. I was like, what is this? Like, you just pulled from the plot of Xanadu, and you're like, gotta make him an artist. The other reason this bothered me is not that the movie is entirely historically accurate, but they did a lot of research and they tried to make certain things fit historically, whereas when you think about it, the Newsboys, the news came out 2 or 3, depending on how big of a news day it was, times a day. So you had these guys in the morning trying to hawk papers, in the evening trying to hawk papers, and they didn't really, like, yeah, they played with each other, but it's like, when is he going to have time to design an entire mural for a vaudeville theater? I don't know where that fits in his day as, like, a poor working child.
For me, it was just more like it didn't add anything, I feel like, to the story except for, like, him drawing for their article. Like, that was the only add in it. So it didn't make sense as why to add it in for me.
And I also, I like it better when Jacque is like this, like, poor, scrappy kid, rather than having him be like, oh, I want to be, not that he wants to be a movie star, but it's kind of like, oh, I want to be involved in, like, the arts. I'm like, I don't see the character as, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it just gave a different reason for him to, like, make money to leave for Santa Fe. That was, like, the only justification I could come up with for it. And then the music, we have added songs. We have The Bottom Line, which is Pulitzer's song that they add into it.
Which I found annoying, but it's just so annoying. It was just to give Pulitzer a song, so you don't have to have that actor just being, like, standing around being like, I hate Newsies, let's rip them off. You know, not that he's British either.
It was to give him a longer scene.
Right.
I didn't hate it. Like, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was there.
Yeah, the
me.
song's just annoying to me. It's not, I don't.
Well, Pulitzer's
like the
part in
song.
general is annoying to me, so, like, the less I need to see of him. I just want to watch the young boys dance, okay?
Yeah.
We have That's Rich for Mena, which is, in my
So
opinion,
much better.
so much
It is
better
so much better.
than the movie.
It's so much better. I mean, the characters.
The
so much
character.
better.
Well, she has more of a character.
She has more of a role, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't fault Anne Margaret for that at all.
No,
It's
that
like
was-
Anne
that was
Margaret, I
dividing.
think, is a wonderful actress. I just think that Meta was a better character, given a better character
in the play. Definitely. We have I Never Planned on You. The love song. One of the love songs.
I do like that they did this song. They having them backstage watching
Watch What Happens.
watching the play.
No.
Happens?
Watch What. Sorry, you're right. Watch What Happens is when she's writing the news article.
Right, and this is the one that they're singing to each other while she's trying to watch the play, and he's, like, interrupting her and drawing her inexplicably in the dark in the theater wings, because that's easy to do.
So we can see the fun projection.
Right, so we can see the fun projection. I was like, why don't you just project the things that are happening on the stage?
I wanted them to I wanted to see what he actually drew.
I know.
On the piece of paper, like the actor.
Some sort of like chalk stick figure situation.
It's just writing something
Right,
down.
it's just doodling.
So then we have Watch What Happens, which I actually really like this song. I like the beats in it, and it makes her writing this article fun for me to watch. And
I don't like the character, so I'm not like a very good judge of this, because it's like the woman needs a song. I understand that, but I'm like, meh. I just want to see dancing.
Letter from the Refuge I actually didn't like.
So funny, because I love this song. I would say out of all the new songs, this is my favorite.
It's not that I didn't like the song, but I didn't like that they didn't have Jacque coming to the refuge and hanging, because I thought that would have been really cool visually to see on stage.
That would have been really cool.
And that's why I didn't like this song, is because it gave a reason for Jacque not to go there.
I liked it that it was kind of like a semi-reprise for Santa Fe. I loved Andrew Keenan Bolger, who played the original Crutchy. I thought he did a great job. I saw the first national tour of Newsies. Don't remember the name of the actor who played Crutchy in the first national tour, but I did like him as well.
I'm so mad at myself because I brought my playbill, because I just went and saw this a couple weeks ago at the Pantages, and I remember someone saying something about the Crutchy in our show, and I'm like thinking, who was it? And now the playbill is in my car outside
of the place today. But I also think that obviously I think that the actor who played Crutchy in the movie is really good. I think it's even in this one, there's a lot more physical acting, because there's no camera to stop and say, okay, let this kid sit down for a minute or take a break.
Yeah.
There's a lot of him like doing this whole like Crutchy limp thing through dance numbers,
which was fun to watch.
It's so impressive to me.
And it's also like I like that they still have accents in this, but they kind of toned them down a little bit as compared to the movie, which I liked, because I was in the movie, I was like, ugh.
Oh, I love the accents in the movie. I love that they're so thick, and that the actor who plays Racetrack, again, his name like escapes me right now, and I had it last weekend, but he had like the guy who has the actual New York accent.
We have Brooklyn's Here.
I love that one too. Because I love the line in the movie.
I just love the fact, and it's in the movie, and I didn't mention it last week, but like it's in the movie and it's in the show, where it's like no one is going to help out unless Brooklyn helps out, and I'm like, we're just understanding that this is happening. Like Brooklyn has this much power.
It does.
Like I've never been to New York, and I know that like, but I do know that from like at least pop culture and movie references and watching Sex and the City, like they shit on Brooklyn a lot if you live in other parts of New York. So it's funny to watch Brooklyn be the one that's like, no, if Brooklyn's involved, we're gonna get involved, but if they're not involved, we're out.
I know, I love that. Okay, I found the actor's name, Max Casella. It was driving me crazy. Who played Racetrack in the movie.
And also we have Something to Believe In, and I like this song too. This is the fun love song for me. I like this one more than I Never Planned on You.
The only thing that bothered me with this one is I understood, like, they use the scaffolding a lot in, like, very cool and wonderful ways. This was one instance where I was like, to me, the love song does not play that well on the scaffolding. I would have liked it to have been on the ground.
On a stage. I could see that. Now, I'm going to bring it back to this because we forgot to do this last week. Our Diva song. We didn't say what our Diva song was, so we can do, if you have a different one from each one, feel free to say it.
My Diva song for the movie is Santa Fe, because I love it. My Diva song from this one is Letter from the Refuge. Not that you can be a diva and sing Letter from the Refuge, but whatever. It's my favorite song.
My Diva song from the movie would be probably actually Carrying the Banner. Just because I have a lot of fun with that, the movie one. And my one from the play is actually The World Will Know, because I like that they get more aggressive with it. Like, he's like, "What went buzz?" Like, he's like screaming instead of just singing it. Like, that's why it's my Diva song from the play, because I like when people get really passionate and start screaming. Apparently.
I think not my whole thing with the play is, and again, this is like the same problem I had with Denton, where I loved Bill Pullman as Denton so much, and I had such a crush on Christian Bale as Jack Kelly. It's so hard for me to imagine anyone else playing Jack Kelly, and I wonder if Tiona was here, if she would have this same feeling about Spot. But it's so weird because I've seen, as I told you, I've seen the first tour, and then I've seen clips of Jeremy Jordan, the original.
And Jeremy Jordan, for those of you that may not know, he's most well known now for Smash. He's the bad boy in Smash.
Which, that, like, he does such a great job as that in Smash, but I'm just like, you're just not Jack Kelly to me. And part of it is because his voice is so perfect that I'm like, I just don't see that as Jack Kelly. Like, I see him as this, like, kind of, like, messy Christian Bale character
I like it better
who trips on himself.
I like it better because I like that he sings better. It's like, the first thing when I was watching the musical was, like, when Santa Fe, when I was like, it's so nice.
And see, the other reason I don't like Santa Fe is because, I grew up listening to the movie album, and so the lyrics here, I can't train myself to, like, switch from the movie lyrics to these lyrics, and there are a lot of changes, especially in Santa Fe, and I'm like, I don't even know, like, I get changing the lyric, like the first part where they say that's what they call a family, because he's not the situation is not the same in the play. But then they change a lot of other lyrics for, like, to me, no reason whatsoever, where he's like, all the rolling greens and the, you know, the browns and the colors and all these things. And I'm like, I really liked in the movie where Jack is kind of, everybody around him thinks he's super smart, but he is not actually, like, he's like a poor kid from Brooklyn. He doesn't actually know what Santa Fe looks like. He's looking at some sort of pamphlet. And I love how in the movie it's like this kind of, like, nebulous idea. Santa Fe is really just, I need to get away from here. It's not like he has painted this, like, elaborate picture of what Santa Fe really looks like, or elaborate idea. He literally has no idea. It's just that Santa Fe is not New York.
And I told Jacque I was going to bring this up, and I'm going to in a second, but I also just want to call out to Samantha Ramirez in our chat roll. She also said The World Will Know is her Diva song as well.
Aww.
Yeah, World Will Know, people. I just want to see what people's take on it. It's not like I'm not ragging on it in any kind of way. Like, it's not like a caring sort of thing for me of why it's Santa Fe, but it's just interesting to me that in Rent and in this play, which before we discussed were both made in the 90s, they choose for the New Yorker to want to go to Santa Fe.
Because New York in the 90s wanted to be Santa Fe. No, I don't know.
I don't know what the reason is. So if
idea.
you know what the reason is that Santa Fe is this, like, holy
like
grail,
holy Mecca land,
let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you know what the reason is, because I'm just intrigued. So let's talk about the set a little bit, because the set is interesting to me because of this. Like we said, they have these 3 big scaffolding towers that they move around in different ways, which is actually really cool because they can become different buildings. They can become different looks.
And I like it because New York has scaffolding. So it has those fire escapes that they use again in the movie too.
And you also have Jack and Crutchy, like, living up together on the top of, like, this kind of scaffolding. Like, they're not in that little house that they kind of were, like, they are.
The boarding orphan house.
Yeah, like, they are in, but they're, like, living on the roof. And it's, like, the only part for me that was distracting was that when the scaffolding moves, it kind of does this thing.
Oh, yeah, and you're like, don't die!
And, like, the people that are on the top of the scaffolding when it's moving, I'm like, ah!
I would not... one of the reasons I could not be a Newsie is in that musical is because of the scaffolding. I would be freaked out. I'd be like, don't move me! Don't move me! It hurt me!
It's like you're like...
Yeah, you're like holding on as it shakes. Another reason I couldn't is because they do some insane, like, backflips and front flips.
There's many reasons why I think both of us probably couldn't be.
There are triple pirouettes happening. I was like, this is dance.
Maybe if
this is dance.
I mean, I think we both took dance, but never to the extent where we would be, like, good enough to be anywhere near where these.
The dancing in I think that was the one takeaway, the one huge takeaway I had from watching it live is, like, this is a big dance production. It's very good.
Yeah. the dancing is phenomenal. The choreography and like just the fact that they're dancing, and I'll talk about. We're gonna show the video for the Tonys in a little bit, but
you'll see how the papers in this Tony thing like moves with their feet. I'm like,
it's like crazy.
How did you do that?
It's crazy to me that they're dancing this much throughout and singing this much throughout, and that they have breath left. Because I'd be like off to the side after the first song, like I'm done, guys. I can't go on anymore.
Right? I can't sing in the first place, let alone like sing and dance.
I'm just gonna mouth the words
time.
from now on. You guys got the rest.
You guys got this in the back, right?
The other part of the set, and we talked about it a little bit already, is the projector.
Yes.
Which actually for a lot of it is really cool the way they use the projector. Like, I mean, you'll see in the Tony Awards thing when they take a picture of them, it like projects up and you see the picture they just took.
Yeah.
And it's also cool with the chalkboard. I thought that was a cool use. Like, it's interesting for me when you use a projector how to use it.
Yeah.
Because you can overuse a projector and you can underuse a projector.
Well, I like this too because it sets the scene. Like you have it representing the skyline. You have the newspapers that are projected on the projectors.
It's funny because I'm sorry, Jackie. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just literally just talking out of my butthole.
No, it's funny because I used to be the opposite. I used to not like projections and stuff like that because I felt like it took away from what the actors were doing on the actual stage because a lot of people are looking at what's happening. Because I went to a musical called Fila, which was by Jay-Z, Will Smith, and Jada Pinkett Smith.
That sounds amazing.
It's awesome.
Where is that?
A really fun
It was
show.
a long time ago. It was like back in like 2010 or something. Or no,
it needs to come back.
2010.
It sounds amazing.
But no, it was great. If you look up stuff, it's just awesome. It's like I think it was like Afro punk jazz or something like that back in Nigeria. It's nuts. But anyway, so they used a lot of projection in that, and it was really hard to concentrate on the singers and the dancers on the stage, and then looking up and seeing other things that were happening. I was like, oh, there's so much going on. But it was still a good musical. It was just hard for me to like keep track of what's going on. But I think this show does a really good job of that, and also the revival of Spring Awakening.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say Les Mis too.
That too, yes, I agree. Oh yeah, that was really good.
Les Mis, yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying is like you can overuse a projector.
Oh yeah, like they did a lot.
It's also like some shows to me when I see the projector, and it might be because my mom did set design growing up. To me, it's like lazy. Like you didn't want to make a set, so you're using a projector.
You're using a projector. But like I said, like I loved the Jeff West Spring Awakening because you get to see what they were actually. Obviously, if you don't know sign language, they have the script and the dialogue up there, and I thought that was really cool, like with the chalkboard and things like that. So I've always, I thought at first I was like, this is dumb, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I want it in everything.
If you can incorporate it in a certain way, it's a really cool tool that theater has now. So going off of that, let's just go right into the Tony Awards, and we're going to show this video, and you'll see the scaffolding and the projector and the dancing and everything in Jeremy Jordan. He is pretty to look at, I will say that. For me.
Yeah, he's too polished for me.
Whatever. You're just
Let's all touch now.
The circle of trust.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had to put in that little tiny part of this almost.
Yeah, this is why I don't understand, like, the lyric, answer the call and don't delay.
That's my friend with the burgundy cap. If you see him spinning around, that's who he is.
I don't know, for me, the song is more powerful in the play because I don't know, something visually about it makes it more powerful for me.
I don't know, the lyric, answer the call and don't delay, to me sounds like a Sprint commercial.
Ha, I like that.
I also don't like this strike, 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 strike. And this is, I don't know.
This is my, like, comparison to this part right there, which was the one part that I kind of was like, this is a weird choreography choice, until they all come in. But that was my comparison to Jack Kelly's little
there he is in front.
pony
So
walk in the beginning of his Santa Fe dance.
There's some, like, amazing pirouettes going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, you cannot try out for this and not be a dancer unless you're
can't.
like Pulitzer. Like, even Catherine has to be able to tap dance a little bit. It just is amazing to me, the amount of talent these people have. It's crazy. And my friend's
And
a
they're,
dancer, and
dancing on
when
scaffolding.
he dances, it's the same thing. He was in West Side Story on Broadway with the revival and stuff, and it's like with him too. I'm like, how do you get your body to do that? Like, I was a decent dancer, but I was never this. Crutchy's little bird. Yeah, I did something. Look at that. And this is what Jacque was talking about with the newspaper, which is just like,
this is insane
to
to
people
me.
that don't maybe know dance or something, is like, are thinking like, oh, all they're doing is like sliding on newspaper. But
Nope.
like, if you knew how hard it would be to spin and land back on that newspaper.
On the newspaper and not look at it because they have to look at the audience.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing to
When
me.
I thought I was in the
blowing my
orchestra,
mind.
but I wasn't close enough to the orchestra when they threw it to grab one of these, and I was like, damn.
Aw.
I really wanted one. I wanted to see what it said.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering when I watched the Tony Awards. I was like, what does it say? But again, I was not close enough when I saw the.
I saw a little girl
Broadway tour.
afterwards walking with one down the street, and I was like, it'd be really mean if I took it from her, wouldn't it?
Let me see what it says.
Yes, Briana, that would be bad.
Yeah, but you know, as adults, we all have that thought because we're not children. We don't get like given the free stuff anymore as much.
I love it because the friend that's in there, he's like, you know those sweat marks that you see on our shirts? Some people
They're
think those are,
real.
they think those are man-made, but not. Look at this pirouette.
I know, this is ridiculous.
Is what drives. Oh my god, it's so good.
Steven asked me, my boyfriend, he asked me, would he be able to do that if he didn't have the newspaper? I'm like, not
Yeah,
as fast. He could
not
do
as
it, not as
fast.
fast. Yeah, you go, Crutchy.
You get it, Crutchy. You show everybody.
This dude
The
right
other
here.
thing is like he does that
Boom.
pirouette and then just steps back like it ain't no thing.
And right here, this projection, like that's such a cool use of projection right there. Like flash up on the screen.
You guys, we'll put a link to this on the Broadway Breakdown Facebook page and Twitter page, so you can so if you're listening to it as an audio, you can see it.
You can see it, like, and also if you just go look up Newsies Tonys, like it'll pop up too.
Samantha writes, they're also good and pretty
I know.
and
I'm
talented.
I'm writing her back right now.
handle
I
it.
know. I can't. I know.
I
It's
can't
ridiculous.
even.
But seriously, with that pirouette, I do like a double pirouette and then I'm ready to vomit. I don't understand how he just did that pirouette and steps back like he's like, yeah, what?
And then
And
sings.
continues to sing
Yeah,
and
and
do
sings.
other things. No,
Like, how
I
do you
mean,
have breath left?
I can just do like when someone's like, oh, yeah, just spin around 2 times. I'm like, yep, nope, I'm done. I'm gonna go take a nap. Thanks, guys.
It makes you think of just as you were a kid, like how, like, even like the smallest things you did and you weren't tired.
Yeah.
It's like they have
Or how
the
you could
energy
handle
of a
the
child.
teacups in Disneyland as a kid.
Yeah,
and-
no.
Sad days.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
I can't either. I'm like,
no, I
don't touch
can't
that
either.
middle center thing. 'cause
I'm just
then-
here to just for the ride.
And then closing your eyes just makes it worse.
It really does.
Why would you do that?
Because you think that if you close it, you won't see everything and it'll
No.
make it. I tried.
I know.
That's why you spot, not spot Conlon.
I was never
That's
good
why
at
you
spotting.
spot when you do a
Yeah, I was
pirouette.
never.
Yeah.
I was never a good spotter. I would
I was
never
actually
got.
not that bad, but still. But like nowadays, you're like, I could just do it, and you're like, nope, 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 nope.
So this musical was nominated for Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, Best Performance by a Leading Actor for Jeremy Jordan, Best Direction, Best Choreography, Best Orchestra Score, Best Orchestration, and Best Scenic Design. It won Best Choreography and Best Original Score, which I think is what it should have won.
Yeah.
Definitely for choreography. I mean, if you just
Definitely for
watch that and think it
choreography.
didn't, then I don't know who you are or
Right.
what you're thinking.
Right.
And Best Original Score, I really like the music. I know you have an issue with it because of it being changed, but I still really love the music in it, and I love the power it still has. Like, it's just, for me, this is a musical you go to have fun, to listen to the music, to watch the dancing, and just have fun and be
Watch
like,
cute boys sing to you.
yeah.
I think my problem is more so the lyrics because I'm like, I don't like that lyric. Why did you change it? But I do think like meta songs much improved.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think it was hard to improve.
I mean, I literally copied the album and took out meta songs when I used to listen to them because I was like, I just can't. They're terrible.
Yeah.
And I like that Crutchy got a song. I like that Brooklyn's Here is a song.
Yeah, because like a lot of the, I mean, that happens a lot with movie musicals. A lot of the, it's like 4 actual songs, and then the rest is like orchestrational songs. And then with musicals, it's much more like every song has lyrics and singing.
Right.
So which do we prefer?
Oh, I prefer the movie 110%.
I'm a Broadway girl. I'm going with the Broadway. I think the Broadway, the dancing is amazing and it can't be replaced with what the movie does. And I think that it just the story is more impactful to me because for me the story for both of them is not, oh my God, like it's not a play. That's not. It's, you know, there's plays you go to for the story, and there's plays you go to, and like that's why I think that I enjoy this is because the dancing and the singing and everything is so much heightened in this musical, so it's more enjoyable for me. But I also didn't grow up and listen to this and watch this movie, so I don't have that sentimentality that you have with it.
I think also it has to do with it being a cult classic. I imagine people who are Rocky Horror Picture Show movie fans feel the same way about seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show as a live musical.
Which we'll see.
Where,
because I grew up with the movie with that. So.
We'll be doing that towards the end of the month, and I think that when you're so used to certain lines and Newsies, I could almost do Newsies as a Rocky Horror Picture kind of shadow cast. That's what they call it when you're playing along with the movie, which I'm sure plenty of people have seen Rocky Horror Picture Show do that. But I think for me there are certain things that I just love about the movie because they're like all these little like callbacks and references that I'm so used to and they feel like at home for me, that having them missing from the musical is a little bit like, oh, it makes me feel sad because I don't get that feeling of nostalgia.
Yeah. I mean, and I totally get that. For me, I mean, a lot of times for me it's the opposite. It's like watching the musical and then when they make a movie being like,
Yes,
which I'll talk more. I'll talk more when we talk about the Hairspray movie, but like one of those things is
Someday
even like the small
we'll
change with the to like woke up today to woke up, like it didn't make sense to me anyway. But so I get it. I understand
when we do Rock of Ages, the day of reckoning will come.
Oh my God. If you love the movie Rock of Ages, please don't watch our show.
No, yeah, you're just gonna be mad at us. But we're doing Little Shop of Horrors.
We're doing Little Shop of Horrors next week.
Which always sounds like Little
show.
Shop of Horrors whenever I say it. It doesn't sound like Little Shop of Horrors.
Because Audrey.
Little Shop of Horrors.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing the theater show for that one next week. So tune in for that. I love that show as well. It's really fun for me. Also check out our Twitter. It's at Broadway Be Down. We have a Facebook page, Broadway Breakdown. Also, we're on SoundCloud, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Play. So subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you guys think. Let us know. I know we've had someone tell us a couple musicals they want us to do coming up, which I know for some of it it might have to wait because we do have some things already like kind of planned out, but we can definitely add them in. So let us know of what you want to hear us talk about too. Anything else you want to add, Jacque, before we end the show?
No, that was it.
Alexis? No.
Alexis
Oh,
left
sorry,
the building.
sorry. I was trying to look for your stuff, but no. I'm hoping that more people, for both movie and musical, go back and go watch it because there's a lot of things that people might miss, especially from the movie that when I went to go rewatch it, and then obviously going back and seeing the musical as well.
I love that. I'm just going to
awesome.
say this from the movie. I love that Teddy Roosevelt, when Denton comes in and he hands him the paper and he's like, "Disgraceful, Denty." I don't know why. I love that line.
That's awesome.
It's cute. It's such a cute little thing. He's like, "I've got to go help the Newsies," which he does in the musical too.
Well, that is the end of our show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everybody in the chat roll, for chatting along with us. We really love your input as well. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
I'm respectable, staring right at your lousy.
Phipps 14 on Twitter and Instagram. Sorry, given the handles that one last time. And Jacque, where can they find you?
123 Jackie B on all platforms. Trust me, I won't sing on my social media, so you don't have to worry about that. And Jackie B 123 on Snapchat.
All right, thank you guys. And now you can sing the New York.
Now it's just the orchestra part, so I can't sing to it.
Okay.
Is that
all right, guys. Thank you so much.
Phil Svitek and the entire Popcorn Talk Network. From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.